Speaker, after a 4-year legal battle with this government, the public now knows the number of children who have died in care since 1999. What we still don't know is the number of kids who died while receiving protective services during the same period. That's a major gap in historical information this government is willing to share with Albertans, and it needs to be corrected today. So, to the Minister, very straightforward, can you tell this Assembly how many children have died while receiving protective services over the past 14 years? And if not, why not?
Mr. Speaker, that would require a historical review. I don't have that information at the tip of my fingers today, but I can tell you this, that we publicly disclose as of 2012 the death of any child in care. We review every serious injury or death. We provide the information of that to the Quality Assurance Council and to the Child and Youth Advocate. The Child and Youth Advocate has full ability to have access to all the information he needs and the powers of a commissioner under a Public Inquiries Act. The Medical Examiner reviews every incident of any child involved in the Human Services Department, including the children that the honourable member is talking about, and has the opportunity to report to a Fatality Review Board.
Honourable member.
41 years after you guys became government, you finally started counting all the deaths. That is outrageous. Given that even though 8 kids under age 5 died while receiving protective services last year, and only one of those deaths will proceed to a fatality inquiry, and none of those deaths will be reviewed by the Children's Advocate, not even the one that the Advocate describes as having died due to neglect, how can the minister possibly say, as he did yesterday, that the decrease in investigations of children's deaths is a good thing?
Mr. Speaker, because I've just recounted twice about the number of ways in which an investigation into a child's death occurs, and each of those people to whom the death is reported has a duty of care, a duty to investigate to determine what more needs to be done. And if they determine that nothing more needs to be done because a child died of natural causes or for whatever other reason, then I assume that they have carried out their duty and they're not going further with an inquiry. That means fewer inquiries means we're on the right track, we're doing the right thing, and that the majority of those children are dying of natural causes.
Honourable member.
40 years you made assumptions, and for 40 years that was wrong. Given that of the 20 deaths and serious injuries of children last year, only 5 of those tragedies will be investigated by the Advocate or through a fatality review, and given that each child who is a victim of these tragedies deserves the full investigative attention of the government who is responsible for them, will the minister commit to changing the legislation to ensure every death or serious injury is investigated, or do those deaths and serious injuries simply not matter?
Mr. Speaker, the death of any child is a tragedy. It's a tragedy for the family, it's a tragedy for the community, and it's a tragedy for all of us. We need to learn everything we can from every incident, but we don't need to have a full review of every incident to learn from it, because in many cases children die of natural causes. And when that is determined by the medical examiner, when that is determined, when the evidence is already there, then the in-depth review that the honourable member is talking about is not necessary. So we do not want to put people through very, very difficult circumstances when the evidence is already available to the public.